It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey everybody, yes it is. It is showtime. It is showtime. Geno Jones Showtime. So, when does the Geno Jones Show come on? Monday through Friday. Those are my normal days, 5 days a week, weekly, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's about 7:31 here on the East Coast, and the Carolinas here, 6:30, about 6:31. So if you are in Central Time, on Central Time, hello Chicago, stand up. Dallas, Houston, Texas, San Antonio. Shout out to candidate U.S. Representative, soon to be, because I'm naming it and claiming it and speaking it into existence, a soon to be U.S. Senator, currently U.S. House of Representative Jasmine Crockett, who is running for one of the U.S. Senate seats in the great state of Texas. So everybody in Texas, everybody, make sure you support this sister. And shout out to Arkansas, my brother by another mother, Chris Jones, a real-life rocket scientist and a pastor. He ran for governor of Arkansas. You all blew that and voted in this crazy-ass Sarah Huckabee. I want to call her Sarah Suckabee because she sucks. Sarah Suckabee Sanders, who was like the first press secretary for Orange Hitler in the first regime. So Chris Jones is running to be a U.S. representative, I believe, in Central Arkansas. So shout out, as a matter of fact, he will be a guest on the show very soon. And Cuz, AKA Chris Jones, like I said, a real life, like he ain't got one master's degree. He's got like two from MIT, and also a Morehouse man. Brilliant brother, just a great dude, beautiful family. His wife was a combat helicopter pilot, and she's an ER doctor now. So that is, you're talking about black superpower, black people magic. They got it right there. So now everybody on the West Coast, hello Portland, Oregon. Hello, Seattle, live in Las Vegas and Los Angeles, 4:30 in the afternoon. Programming note, off the top of the show. Programming note, no live show on tomorrow. That's going to be December 12th. Yep, 12/25. Wow, okay. And this Christmas is going to be like 12/25. That just kind of hit me. I'm like, okay, it's going to be interesting. That's right. And then what is it? One of the Powerballs is Satan is always busy here, trying to interrupt everything. I think, what is it? Is it the Powerball, Mega Millions? One of them is up to, I think Saturday, told me it's going to be up to $1 billion. Wow. Let me slide over here. So I guess I'm going to have to buy a lottery ticket. One of those, I guess, was it Mega? I think it's Mega Millions. So anyway, no live show this Friday, December 12th. I am like the hype man for our hockey team, the South Carolina Stingrays. Let's go Rays! So I will be there on Friday. We will be back live Monday. So it'll be a live show all next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so a week from today may be the final live show of 2025. And then we will return on Monday, January 5th. We'll talk about that, all of that next week. But I'm here now. So this is like the Friday version of the Geno Show. So it's like a week review kind of thing I think we're going to do here. Just checking. I know, we're just doing some stuff. That's the great thing about live TV. So first of all, people saying, hey, Geno, oh, by the way, the show is interactive. That means if you're watching me live now, I know some folks are, if you're watching me live now, if you got a question, comment. I love to hear from you. Let me know who you are, where you're watching. If you got a question or if you got a comment, you see where it says live chat. For everybody watching me live right now, I have a live chat room. So jump in there, type in your name, say, hey, Geno, this is Sonia. I'm watching you in Chicago or San Antonio, or up in New York City, or over in Atlanta or Charlotte or Detroit City, or out in Los Angeles or in Phoenix or Portland or Seattle or Denver, wherever, Milwaukee, Memphis, don't matter. Overseas, somewhere on the continent of Africa, it is all good. So let me know who's watching, because I see you out there. Jump in my chat room and let me know where you are. And if you want me to shout you out, maybe shout out my Sagittariuses. It's your birthday season. As a matter of fact, my mom's birthday is in 3 days. As a matter of fact. Okay, Sagittarius, stand up. So I'd love to hear from you. So I see you out there. So jump in there, let me know who's watching. So yes, my holiday blackout, because say, Geno, is the holiday blackout because you talked about how all these companies have basically followed the lead of Orange Hitler. He claims, I think he wrote an executive order that DEI is illegal, which is bullshit. But you had a lot of these punk ass companies and little scary ass CEOs. And I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of these companies really didn't want to be bothered with black folks. They didn't really want to hire black people specifically. Not really. Now they want our money as consumers, but they only really want your talent if they can exploit it and make a lot of money. But they didn't want a proliferation, all these brilliant black women and black men. So, but you had diversity, equity, and inclusion laws, which ironically, just like affirmative action, didn't benefit black people the most. The one group of people that benefited the most from affirmative action and that benefited the most from diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because diversity means that you give everybody a diverse group of people. So that's everybody. That's black, Latino brothers and sisters, Asian brothers and sisters, Native American, even Europeans, straight, gay, bisexual, lesbian, trans, whatever. But the one group of people that benefited the most from affirmative action programs and anti-DEI programs were white women. No, not black women, white women. The biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action were white women. But white women weren't standing on business because they leaned into this made up bullshit con game that scientists call a social construct, which is a pretty fancy, intelligent sounding way of saying it's just a made up bullshit. It's a con. That race is a con. It's a con game. Or scientists will say a social construct. It was constructed by Europeans who were wealthy and had all the economic, political, and social control and power in the late 1680s. Because those wealthy Europeans didn't give a shit about poor and working class Europeans. They despised them. They killed them off when they could. You had all kind of wars, and they made sure that they didn't have opportunities, economic opportunities, political opportunities, social opportunities. So they created these wealthy Europeans in the late 1600s, 1680s, came up with this, well, let's create something called race. And let's identify whiteness. Europeans never called themselves white before the 1680s, 1700s. Europeans were either Italian or German or Polish, or Ukrainian, Eastern European, Russian, from France, Belgium, Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, Finland, Ireland, Scotland, the United Kingdom, Germany. They were not white. Shit was made up. It's bullshit, but it was made up. So we could distract these people, these poor Europeans that we call peasants, that we really not trying to F with, but we need to make them think they need to fear these dark people on this continent with all these resources, with all these natural resources, with all this wealth, gold and diamonds and minerals and agriculture. Just, oh my God. Yeah. Pick groups against each other to distract you. Kind of like when you seize a Venezuelan oil carrier ship, a Venezuelan ship that carries oil, or kind of sending these punk ass ICE agents with their cowardly asses with masks over their face. You send them to New Orleans, and you send them into Chicago and they ran their ass out. You send them to LA and they got their ass run out. Or you send them to DC, you're trying to send them to Portland. So you don't have to release the Epstein files, so the world won't find out all these wealthy, powerful pedophiles. And a man named Jeffrey Epstein, who was convicted of child sex trafficking, who allegedly hung himself in prison, who said that Orange Hitler, AKA Donald Trump, was his best friend for 10 years, and who's the one person that we've seen in more videos or photos with Jeffrey Epstein, the one person that we've seen the most. So you've had people throw out names, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, and this person, and folks at, Chase Bank. But we know who we've seen on video the most, standing there, no rhythm ass, dancing, looked like he got two broke hips and a broomstick stuck up his ass. No other than Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein luring at young girls, at teenage girls. Everybody's seen the video multiple times. The same man who said on video that when you're a celebrity, you can grab women by, he used the P word that rhymes with Tootsie, but take off the T and put on the P. Yes, your man, your orange Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump, the J stands for jackass, Sleepy Don, who can't keep his eyes open. This whole this con of whiteness. And out of whiteness, blackness was created. So those who lean into whiteness could feel superior to those who are identified as black. But we have African descent. But the majority of the planet are people of color. Because once again, whiteness, race is a made-up construct, okay? Period, full stop. It doesn't exist there's nowhere in the human genome. There's no white person that will take a DNA test, and it'll come back and say, well, you're 92% white. No, it will never happen. It has never happened because whiteness does not exist in human biology. Race, whiteness, blackness, it does not exist. It'll say, well, your family's from Belgium or Germany or Sweden or Scotland or France or Portugal or Spain, but it won't say that, oh, you're 92% white. It will not. And the same with us of African descent. It will say that we're 92% from Ghana, Nigeria, the Ivory Coast, Somalia, Ethiopia, Egypt. We could go on and on and on. The Ivory Coast, Benin, Liberia, which is interesting because Liberia was actually invented. So you took Africans from West Africa, you kidnapped them, took them to America, and then some of them you said, well, now we're gonna send some of y'all back to Africa and we're gonna colonize this little country on the continent and call it Liberia, and name the capital after James Monroe, one of our former presidents who was an enslaver, Monrovia, Liberia. So you sent Africans that you kidnapped, brought to America, and some of them is like, no, we're gonna send some of y'all back. Make it make sense. It's madness. It is, absolutely, positively. All right, let's see here. It is roll call time in my chat room. Hello, Michelle. How are you? Good evening. Tell your grandma I said hi. Hope she's feeling great. She said, talk your big facts. Thank you, Michelle. That's what we do here. As my grandmother, Jean Jones, who I'm named after, her name is L. Jean, Amy Jean Rayford, her maiden name. And she met my grandfather, Conway Jones, and then she became just Jean, Jean Jones. And she said, Jeannie, tell one of her many pearls of wisdom, tell the truth, shame the devil. So Michelle and everybody else, including my mother just watching, that's what we do right here. We tell the truth. That's what Mom taught me, Mother, you know that. And she taught you the same thing. She said, tell the truth, shame the devil. And Satan, we rebuke you. She didn't say it. I'll say it. Satan, we rebuke your ass. See, my grandmother didn't curse. She said, Satan, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. So we do all that here. And we don't beg nobody to take our money, which will segue me into our holiday blackout. Kind of go back to where I started, where all these companies have decided that they want to get rid of it. Well, you know, the government said it's illegal to have DEI programs, so we've got to get rid of them, or they're not fair. Just be straight up. Tony Braxton had a song, Just Be a Man About It. So just be a man about it. Or for the women CEOs, just be a woman about it. And just say, we really don't like you black folks. We are afraid of you. We are intimidated by you, but we want to be you, and we fetishize you. So we want to have sex to see if the myth is real about the men and the women. And we envy just all of your culture, which is African culture that kind of was remixed. Everything from our music, you name it, jazz, gospel, R&B, hip hop, rap, house music, bebop, all of it. The origins are back the African continent. And what we do, we just remix stuff. A scientist would call it synthesize. Part of our culture is, okay, you know, we're going to just, it's like what many of our grandmothers or mothers would do. My grandmother would get in the kitchen. Man, it was like her pound cake didn't taste like, nobody's pound cake tasted like my grandmother. Nobody's collard greens tasted like my grandmother. Nobody's fried chicken tasted like my grandmother. Nobody's fried catfish tasted like my grandmother. She had relatives and just neighbors who would beg my grandmother to cook if they're having functions at church. They used to be, my family on the other side of town, shout out to cousin Gazelle, rest in power, and all my cousins over there, Robert and cousin Polly. I hope they're still living. Anyway, so they would have these, they call them teas, where they would raise money for the church, and I guess people would have their table, and they would cook items, and they would sell them. You know, a slice of pound cake, or like a dinner, fried chicken dinner, or catfish or whatever. And people would beg my grandmother, oh, could you make me, Miss Jones, Cousin Jean, can you make me a pound cake? Nobody made a pound cake like my grandmother. Now my mother got the recipe, so she got the recipe, so she made the pound cake. Now, you know, she's not able to really be on her feet like that in the kitchen like that. But I've had people, trust me. There was a time when I was single. So I had, back in the day, before I met the Maris and the girls, I had like ex-girlfriends that was like, could your mother, and I know my mother's watching, so she knows exactly some of the people that I'm talking about. They was like, oh, could your mother make me a pound cake? Your mother makes the best pound cake. They're like, my mother don't make a pound cake. I've never had a pound cake this good. So, which was and is my grandmother's recipe. So I digress. So I just got sidetracked, but the point I'm trying to make is that, I mean, culture, when it comes to food, the way we took scraps and made something out of them. You know, I mean, food that the enslavers didn't want to eat, entrails and stuff that they didn't like. And our ancestors remixed it. Music, art, dance, just part of the way we would move and talk and not even talk. Unspoken communication. How, it's like, your mother, your grandparents could give you that look like, boy, okay, you act up in this store, you're going to get it. Sometimes she would say it, but she would give you that look. Maybe you're out somewhere and some other kids were acting, wilding out, crashing out. That's the term now for just acting crazy or just acting bad. But your mother would look at you like my mother would give me that look like, which was, okay, now, we don't tolerate that. So that look was, don't try that, because if you do, it's going to be a consequence. Or how we just, it's just even, it could be Black Americans, Black folks really all over the world, specifically here in America. The way we can be out somewhere and maybe it's only 2 or 3 Black people. And we can see each other, we're like, unspoken. We can wink, smile, give that head nod, we already know. Or could be in a room and somebody's saying something really crazy, wild. It could be racist or whatever. And we can give each other this look like, or that, All that's communication. All that is a part of our culture here in America. So we don't beg anybody to take our money. And since all these corporations and CEOs decided that they don't value Black people, they decided they don't value our money. So that means you don't value us if you don't value our money. So you get rid of your diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. How did that work out for Target? Not very well. Company lost about $12 billion, would it be, not million, $12 billion in value. Stock dropped, what? It was around last January, it was around, I'm off the top, I don't have the exact number, but I'm in the general vicinity in terms of what it was. It was over $100, maybe somewhere near 110, 108, somewhere like that. And it got as low as in the upper 70s. I haven't looked at the market today, so I don't know what Target stock closed at. Low 80s, high 70s in terms of dollars per share. So this company, Target, lost about $12 billion in its value. The stock lost that much in value because Target was just on some bullshit and wanted to take away their diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and renege on a $2 million verbal promise that they gave right after George Floyd was murdered, because Target's headquarters is in Minneapolis, where George Floyd was murdered. And where you had the whole movement in terms of just people, because you really got to see hatred, police brutality, and racism on video for 9.5 minutes to choke somebody out with their knee. So Target kind of responding to this fake humanity. Now we realize it was just fake humanity. It was just bullshit. They verbally committed to taking $2 million to support Black-owned businesses. So they pulled that back in January. Now keep in mind, Target was a store that was very popular in the African American culture in America, especially Black women. They even had a name. So that's how we do. We come up with the coolest nicknames. Black women came up with a nickname for Target. They called it Tarjay. Because it had some decent stuff. You could find some decent quality stuff back in the day. It was reasonable price. So we're going to Tarjay. Yeah, we're going to Tarjay. Well, no more Tarjay. Tarjay is bye-bye Tarjay. So you had so many other companies follow. So I'm like, we don't beg, as my grandmother taught me, don't beg nobody to take your money. You don't value my money, you don't value me. I'm not gonna beg you to take my money. Target or AT&T or Home Depot or Walmart or Lowe's or Macy's, none of these companies. You're not doing me a favor. You're not letting me shop, letting me spend my money with your company. And somehow you think you were doing me a favor. Oh, you got it effed up. You've got this all effed up. You're not doing me a favor. I don't beg nobody to take my money. My money is just as good as anybody else's. Because my $200 or $300 or $400 is just as good as somebody that's net worth is $200 million or $2 billion. If they spending $200, $300 or $400 in Target, their money doesn't have any more value than mine. Just because they're worth, a couple billion or a couple hundred million, if they spend $300 in Target, it ain't gonna multiply. It's still gonna be $300 on their books. The same $300 that if I was to spend, which I won't and don't, the $300 that comes from somebody that makes $60,000 a year shows up and has the same value on Target's books that somebody that spent $300 that's worth $300 million. It don't multiply if the person that spent the money, their net worth is 10, 20, 30 times more than somebody who's only making 50, 60, 70, 80,000. It's the same. Money don't know. When that money go in the bank or they swipe the card, no, we ran a charge for $300. It cleared, it's posted. They don't know. The bank don't give a shit. I was like, oh, there's some more money in our bank account. So we don't beg anybody to take our money. So the best way to get people's attention with money and power is to dig in their pockets. When you start digging in their pockets, because these CEOs and especially these racist billionaires, these broligarchs, as somebody I heard refer to them, to these billionaires. If you're not a white Christian, and a lot of them, they're using white Christian nationalism, that's another smoke screen. That's some other bullshit to get people distracted. Because these real billionaires, these Elon Musk and Peter Thiels and the David Ellisons and the Larry Ellisons, David Ellison's daddy, the ones that's trying to now, they done screwed up CBS and gonna fire all the black folks, not renewing Gayle King's contract, and my man that used to play for the Lions. Now you see all on social media, Nate Burleson, they're gonna let him go. And you've seen these networks, from Don Lemon to Joy Reid, a lot of the black talent, a lot of these, MAGA bros who's kissing Donald Trump's ass, and they only doing that so they can become wealthier. They don't give a shit about him. They know he's clueless. They flatter his ass, blow smoke up his ass, and then, it'll tickle him, and he'll, when he wakes up, woo, woo, thank you. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about these poor working class white people. They don't give a shit about your MAGA hat, that red MAGA hat. Because guess what? That red MAGA hat is not helping your health insurance. Did it help you when that email you got, that letter you got in the mail that said your health insurance premiums were going to go up from $200 a month to $2,000 a month? The subsidies that you were using, the subsidies that you had because of that black dude that you hated, Barack Obama, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, that health care insurance had a provision. It provided subsidies to make health insurance affordable for millions of people who didn't or couldn't get health insurance. That's why it is officially called the Affordable Care Act. Because now, a lot of people's health care is going to be unaffordable or not at all. It's going to be the No Health Care Act. It's going to be you are asked out Health Care Act. You ain't got no Health Care Act. That's what this MAGA cult wants to do. But we can send a message. Black Americans control 2.1 trillion with a T, not B, not billion, $2.1 trillion in spending power. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of power. Now, we always going to get some grifters and some sellouts, and some folks that's going to choose to check to appeal to their, white Christian nationalist, racist, misogynist, sexist master. I get that. But the majority of us understand the assignment. We know what time it is, and not just black, because now, a lot of the Latino brothers, some of the Asian brothers, I don't know, not too many, and a lot of these, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, some of these die-hard, MAGA red hat wearing, flag waving, I love my president, Donald John Trump, and yeah. Your farms have gone into bankruptcy. Gave $40 billion to Argentina. Now they got to try to pass a law, $12 billion. That's not going to help. Not really. A lot of these white farmers who worship the ground of Orange Hitler, farms in bankruptcy or on the verge of bankruptcy. And he said, go get American farmers $12 billion, but he gave Argentina $40 billion? Y'all get it? Let this dude pee on you and he tells you it's rain and you believe it? Come on. So now a lot of them are finding out. Energy bills through the roof, grocery prices, wages, income had gone up. But we, as part of the culture, Black America, the way to get people's attention with money and power is to dig in them pockets. That's why I call for the holiday blackout. So I want to leave you. So what do? I get it. What do you tell the kids? I understand. Tell the kids that Orange Hitler canceled Christmas. Tell them that Donald Trump sent ICE agents to the North Pole, and the ICE agents, with their little cowardly punk ass, the ICE agents went to the North Pole and they snatched up Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus and all the elves, because they thought all the elves were like from Mexico. They said, them elves are illegal aliens. This and illegal immigrants. People ain't illegal, but I digress. So Orange Hitler, Donald Trump sent the ICE agents to the North Pole. And they apprehended, they kidnapped Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, and all the elves. So, but don't worry, we got many Black-owned businesses. So I just want to cite a couple. I want to cite a website, a platform that is a brilliant platform, and I found out about this platform through the Digital Green Book. Check out the Digital Green Book. It's either thedigitalgreenbook.com or .org, and it's a wealth of resources. So the Green Book was literally a book that was published, back in the segregated, Jim Crow area, early, like 100 years ago, 70, 80, 90, 100 years ago. And it was a book that Black Americans used, especially if you lived in the North, but Black Americans in the South used it also if you were traveling. Say if you were driving from Chicago to Mississippi, or from Detroit to Alabama, or from New York City or Philly to South or North Carolina or Florida. The Green Book had a list of places, homes that were owned, or like bed and breakfast that were owned by Black people, that were like a safe place, safe places to stay, to eat, to take a shower. Maybe, you had some issues with your car. So it had all of this information. And it would also tell you where you needed not to go, and where you what you needed to avoid, or where you needed to avoid. What cities, what little towns, what areas. It was a wealth of information and a valuable resource. So now this Black-owned site called the Digital Green Book is something similar, just modern day. And so there's so many different pages. So if you're looking for anything, also it has its own Black-owned, Black-created AI site called Ask Aisha. So you don't need ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot. You can ask Aisha on the Digital Green Book with their AI platform, their AI site right there. And they also they have a list of a lot of different Black-owned businesses or other resources. So I saw this platform, BlackNile.co. Black Nile, like the Nile River. BlackNile.co. It's an alternative to Amazon. As a matter of fact, you go to the homepage, you say, it's either this ain't Amazon or we ain't Amazon. We are BlackNile.co. And it's got, on this platform, it has all of these, it's just a wealth of resources. So it's created all these other, sub-platforms. I'm looking for the right word. So when you go there, blacknile.com, there's like a button where you can click on shop. And literally you can buy anything, food products, soap, paper towels, toilet paper, hair products, makeup, clothes. I'm leaving some things out. But everything on the site, these are Black-owned products, created and owned by Black creatives, Black inventors, Black producers, Black-owned businesses. The food products, everything, soap, paper towel, toilet paper, like I said, clothes. And when you go to the site, you will see they're like buttons that you can click on. There's a button for Black-owned grocery stores all across America. There's a button for Black-owned hotels and villas all across America. There's a button for Black-owned beauty supply stores. There's a button for Black-owned hair salons and hairstylists. There's a button for Black restaurants. There's a button, I think it's for Black hotels and villas. And it's an incredible site. There's a button for Black-owned restaurants. And I might be leaving it out. All this, blacknile.co. That's blacknile.co. BlackNile. All one word, blacknile.co. So get your Christmas shopping done. There's other sites, buy from a Black woman, buy from a Black man. Blacknile.co is a great resource. And I still got to find out. I know it's a Black-owned company. As a matter of fact, either they have launched it or they are about to launch their own app at blacknile.co. So it's an amazing site. So check it out. You can get all your Christmas shopping done at blacknile.co, or just go to buy from a Black woman, buy from a Black man, and those sites, they will turn you on or introduce you or take you to so many Black-owned businesses, Black-owned inventors or creatives. So whatever you happen to look for, whatever's on that Christmas list, whatever Santa and whatever his elves were gonna make that they won't make now because they got snatched up by ICE agents and sent to Honduras or El Salvador or wherever, held in some detention place somewhere in Louisiana, Santa. These are the bootleg Santas, because the real Santa then got snatched up, him and his wife and his elves. They got kidnapped by ICE agents. But we good. We're all we got. But we are all we need. And we got everything we need right here with us. All right, everybody. What'd you say? So shout out to Michelle. She said they ain't ready for this talk Well, you know what? Let me just say this, Michelle. George Clinton, one of my favorite artists. I can make an argument. The greatest band that I ever saw. I seen a lot. Earth, Wind, and Fire in their prime. The Time, which would be right there at the top. Other bands, Tony. But I can't think of one that was in their prime better than Parliament, because you had Parliament, Funkadelic. You had Bootsy was all a part of it, and he went solo, Bootsy's Rubber Band. You had some members that was part of the JBs and James Brown, Fred Wesley and Maceo and Bernie Worrell, rest in peace. So, and as a matter of fact, Eddie Murphy is supposed to be playing George Clinton. They're gonna do like, I guess, a biopic on George Clinton and the mothership, Parliament, Funkadelic, and One Nation Under a Groove. One of the all-time party records, party anthems, along with Knee Deep, the late Felipe Wynn singing that little hook. Ants in my pants and I need to dance. I got ants in my pants and I need to dance. Woo! Felipe Wynn, former lead singer of the Spinners. So he came on the song, One Nation Under a Groove. Put the P-Funk sign. What y'all know about that? Ask your mama, your daddy about the P-Funk sign. Come on now. And some of the lyrics in One Nation Under a Groove was, ready or not, here we come, getting down on the one which we believe in. Here's my chance to dance my way out of my constriction. Oh, you see, I'm ready. Come on, man. It's the holiday. I'm ready to do this thing. So, Michelle, ready or not, as a matter of fact, I'm going to remix that version. Instead of saying, ready or not, here we come. Ready or not, we are here, baby. Oh, we're here. So ready or not, we're here. We're here and now, and it's going down. All right. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you and especially you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. So, programming note, no live show on Friday, December 12th. I will be back live right here Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Tell everybody, spread the word, tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. If you haven't done it, do it right now. And do me a favor, record a little video, post up on social media, say, listen, man, this brother, man, he tells it like it T.I. is. The Geno Jones Show, must-see TV, and we must support all of our Black-owned institutions and businesses, including Black-owned media. So it's so important. Your financial support is greatly appreciated, and it is needed. So first of all, I want to shout out to Courtney Johnson, the CEO of Kojo LLC, our real estate company. If you're looking to buy or sell a home anywhere in the Carolinas, South or North Carolina, you can reach out to Courtney, KojoLLC.com. That's COJOLLC.com. So check that out. But if you, and I would love to have you. I'd love to have you as an advertiser. I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you as a sponsor of the Geno Jones Show. As a matter of fact, we got some new sponsors coming up at the beginning of the new year. Shout out to Mayor Shardale Murray and Murray's Mortuary. We'll talk more about that later, because I'd love to have you. It's part of the Geno Jones Show family. So there are a couple ways you can support the show and my media company, Black-owned Media, financially. You can be a sponsor or advertise, and just shoot me an email, Geno Jones Show, Geno Jones Show at Gmail, all one word, Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Shoot me an email. I'll send you a sponsorship package, and we'll set up a meeting via Zoom or maybe in person. However, on the phone, we'll make it happen. I'll tailor make a sponsorship package just to fit your individual needs. So let's grow together. Let me help you grow your business as we grow together, because it is so important. It is so important. Like I said, it's clear. We are all we got. But you know what? we are all we need. And the mother folks know it too. We got everything we need. We come together. The scene in the movie Soul Food. Big Mama said, when a family, when your fingers are like that, you try to punch somebody, you don't have much power. You can break your fingers. She said, but when you bring those fingers together and form a fist, you got a lot of power. So when we come together, we are unstoppable. And everybody else, the rest of the world knows it, and that is the fear, especially if all of us of African descent from across the, as they call it, the diaspora. That's from the continent, every country, and we know colonization is still a big problem. Back on the continent, it's a problem all over the world. But man, when we come together, from the brothers and sisters back on the continent of Africa to the brothers and sisters in the Caribbean that's been colonized, whether you speak Portuguese, Spanish, this great British sounding version of English, whatever your tongue that you speak, the Caribbean, Brazil, Colombia, South America, New Zealand, the Pacific. Man, when we come together, that diaspora, when we as those of African descent come together, that's the scary part. But see, we're not gonna do the dirt, because that's really not us. We picked up some bad habits from these colonizers. That's a whole nother show. So when we come together, we're unstoppable. But those of us as African descent, we by nature, we lean into our humanity. We've always been about culture. It's just those who came in and colonized and created division and strife and created jealousy and hatred among the tribes, those in different countries. All these boundaries that were drawn to separate, and you had all these other countries from Kenya, Uganda, and Ghana, and Ivory Coast, and Somalia, and Benin, and Ethiopia. I could go on and on and on and on. Those were artificial borders. The Berlin Conference, you had Europeans, Belgium, Germany, France, America. These people got in a room and sat down and decided how they were going to carve up the continent of Africa, because they all knew that the continent of Africa, that's the source code. The continent of Africa is where all life, human life as we know it, originated on the continent that is now named Africa. Okay, I don't want to get too heavy here, but I'm just how we get down. Yes, be blessed, Michelle. All right, everybody. So let me go back. If you would like to support the show and my media company financially, I'd love to have you as a sponsor or advertiser. Shoot me an email, Geno Jones Show, all one word, no the, Geno Jones Show @gmail. Now, that same email address, if you would like to support the show via Zelle, you can use that same email address, GenoJonesShow @gmail.com, all one word. GenoJonesShow @gmail. You can Zelle your financial support, or you can Cash App it. Now, the Cash App is $Dad G Jones. $capital D, lowercase a d, capital G J, lowercase ONES. All one word, $Dad G Jones on Cash App, so you can support the show financially that way. Or you can Zelle your financial support. Once again, just type use my email address, GenoJonesShow @gmail. No amount is too small or too large. Hey, if you win that $1 billion Mega Million lottery, feel free to make whatever love offering. Hey, I don't want to put any limits. It's the holiday season. You might be in a generous mood. So if you win $1 billion, hey, you could be an investor on the Geno Jones Show. We can talk about all that. You know, even if you take the payment, even if a $1 billion lottery, that's going to be about $500 million. You're going to walk away with about $600 million. So holler at your man. Love to have you as an investor into Geno Media and the Geno Jones Show. All right, listen, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please don't forget, click on the thumbs up for me right now. Please be sure to like this and every episode. Share. You can share and or tag the link, this show, to everybody you know on social media, all of your social media pages, all those that follow you, your fans, your friends, your family, even folks you don't like, family, folks you don't F with, doesn't matter. You can share on their page, you can tag, you can copy and paste that copy and paste my link, copy and paste the link in an email or text message. It does not matter. Spread the word for me to please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. I'm only about 40. All I need is 40, call to action, 40 new subscribers. This show becomes a YouTube partner, which means that YouTube will monetize my media company and this channel every month. So I'll get the YouTube bag. So important. So spread the word, y'all. All I need is 40 new subscribers to cross that threshold. But I wanted my goal is to get 400,000, really 500,000 this time next year, 500,000. Actually by the summer, because I know you all can do it. So instead of 40, let's say 500,000, so 500,000 by next summer. We're gonna make that happen. 2026 is gonna be an amazing year. We're gonna make it happen. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. I thank you all so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for telling everybody about the show. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and encouraging and telling everybody to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it so much. We're going to be focused on a lot of Black-owned businesses next week. We're going to bring some more people back. We had a Dr. Adrian and her company, so I'm looking. I know I will have. There's a sister that I talked to. She's opening a brick and mortar store where you can buy, if you like crabs and garlic crabs. She's going to be on Monday to talk about the opening of her brand new brick and mortar store. So I'm really excited. Thank you, everybody. I love you. We'll see. If you missed any of this episode or any episode this week, because every monologue has been fire. So go back and binge watch this and every episode, all my great episodes with all my big guests. Everybody has been on the show, from October London to Lettucey to my man Kenny Lattimore to Mr. Big, Ronald Isley, Howard Hewitt, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis. So many stars that I've had on the show. So I thank you. Thank you in advance. Make it a Geno Jones Show binge watch weekend. Once again, have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday, live Monday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Stand up, Chicago. I see you. Stand up, Dallas. Support my girl, Representative Jasmine Crockett. Stand up, Arkansas. Support Chris Jones, running to be U.S. Representative in Arkansas, Central Arkansas. He's going to be on the show because I'm going to call him and keep bugging him because you need to come on the show. Everybody else on the West Coast, all across America, all over the world. Thank you for watching. We'll see you live Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.